This week win a Star Trek M4 in living color in field tested condition. To enter like every week, like, comment and subscribe, and look to the posting on my Discord server, linked below. Yahoo! Sorry, thanks! When you are into skins, it is impossible to miss that CS2 items can be a very lucrative investment. There are many people that made a lot of money by bulk buying cases or stickers, for example, just to resell them after the price increased a few years later. And in many cases, this is not bad money. You don't need to own 2024 Katowice capsules for insane profits with your items. And people reselling items for over 100% profit is not too rare. But for me, as a trader, I have never really been into that. I mean, I can trade skins easily for at least 5% profit, so why should I risk it and have that money bound in items to hope that they increase by a few percent? But of course, as a known trader and YouTuber, I have been asked thousands of times, "Yo, Mr. Neon, what should I invest money in?" So without telling anybody, I actually did one big investment, which I recently sold. So let's see how that went. After this message of skinsmonkey.com. Skinsmonkey is an automated CSGO bot trading site. They offer a huge amount of skins to instantly trade to, 24/7 live chat support, and a 35% bonus on every cash deposit. With a referral code NEON, you can get a free up to $5 bonus on your first trade when exchanging items worth at least $100. So like you can see here, I've calculated a little bit and found this cool deal on Skinsmonkey. I also used my $5 bonus. I just selected these 5 items out of my inventory for these 2 gut knife safari meshes field tested. I even got some leftover balance on the side, which I can use for my next trade. The 2 gut knives were on trade logs, so I just saved them onto the side, but some days later I could just withdraw them to my Steam, and as you can see here, I've got a really good upgrade and with my bonus code also a really good deal. So check out Skinsmonkey right now. Link to the site with my bonus code is in the description. Okay, let's scroll back. Since I started trading in YouTube, the amount of "should I buy this for invest, yes?" really was big. And when people persisted, I sometimes shared my thoughts, noting that in the end, anything can happen. So investing is really close to just being gambling. Of course, there are items that have more potential and it's not 100% random, but in the end, you cannot predict all the valuables in the market. And especially with skins, there is also wealth that kinda influences a lot of things. So calling it gambling is wrong, but saying it's very different from gambling is also not true in my opinion. And who also often ask me about my opinion here were my Patreon subscribers. Because a few years ago, I used to offer trading coachings for my top tier supporters. Over the years where I offered that coaching, I often saw my recommendations for investing making my fellow supporters a lot of money, which I was really happy about, of course, and they also recommended me because of that. But even if you are not an investor, telling people 5 times, "Yo, buy this thing, this might be good," then not investing yourself and seeing it skyrocket a few weeks later, looking at you, M4 Print Stream, feels a bit bad. So when at the end of 2022, another one of my supporters asked me what I would invest money in, I told him that I am not an investor, but I'm of course happy to share my opinions, but I sneakily also bought some of the items myself. This is what I told him. For you watching, it is 2023, CS2 was not even announced, so these are the 5 things I recommended. Number 1, Dust 2 souvenir packages, which was an insane pick because Dust 2 was later removed, and this had a potential 460% ROI. Number 2, Antwerp sticker capsules, which went up over 520%. Number 3, trade up fillers, because everybody was suspecting an operation, and even with that not really coming into play, they still performed decent at around 200%. Number 4, overpass items, because many were speculating they were removed, and later they were, but even without the removal they went up to 300%. And the last thing, good looking cheap play skins, which sadly did not perform terrible but still below average. These are all the items I recommended. The prices were from 2024 by the way, which is a lot in CS skin time. Overall, the $1,000 I invested in the old video resulted in a good profit distributed between those categories, and in total I got a nice 36% profit. Nice! But let me reveal, like I said, this was not the big investment I did. You know, one category of items I really thought had big potential, and I also thought that other investors might be sleeping on it, because everybody can invest in stickers, capsules or cases. But is there somebody investing in good looking cheap play skins? Maybe not. And looking back, I had every right to think that. Item prices were hitting new heights, case prices exploded, and many people didn't know that there was a limit of how expensive everything can go, especially the cases. I mean, who in the right mind would pay $10 just to open one case? Yeah. This sentence maybe doesn't sound too good in 2025, where the average case is like $4. So my potential not really kicked in too hard. So you guessed it, I invested way more, in total 3,500 euros, into these good looking cheap play skins. The worst performer out of my 5 recommendations here, and pretty much the worst performer out of all the like 20 recommendations that made people a lot of money. Yeah, and I bought the worst one. But how much I bought and how much I ended up with, let me show you. So these are the play skins I bought. Especially 2 items might caught your eye if you look at the amount of items I bought. The Orb Epheris. Because when the Orb Epheris was released, many people were complaining, yo, is this really a purple skin? This looks hella fire. And my thought was, yo, this Orb Epheris is really cheap right now, because this is the most that will ever be unboxed per day, because the case was so cheap. This might be really expensive in the future, and I still believe that, to be honest. But what I couldn't comprehend is how stupid the community is. Even after the cases of all of these items went hella expensive, people are still opening them. I mainly bought the different conditions with Orb Epheris. I bought Orb Exoskeletons, Orb Paws, Orb Phobos, and some other items like Elite Builds. Just all items where I thought like, yo, these look hella cool, and people might just buy them even if they are like twice the price, just because they look cool, they want to play them. In total, I invested 3,447 euros in them. Let's see how all of them performed. Let's sort by return of investment and just start with the worst thing we did. The worst thing I did was the AK Ice Cold. And looking back, this was really fucking stupid. This skin was only like 3 months old when I bought these. So it was just logical the price would went down. But I thought like, this looks like a Valorant skin. Valorant was kinda hype back then. This might still be a good one after a few years. It wasn't. This went down 70%. And I bought 20 of those, so we have a 160 euro loss. Nice. Next up, USP Ticket to Hell. Same story than with the AK. They were too new, so the price were just going down, and yeah. Also, 39 and 43%, really bad. Yeah, we have a loss there. Next up, one of my biggest investments, the third biggest investment, was the AK Phantom Disruptor. Same here, was really cheap back then, and I thought like this can only go up. It didn't. 255 euros loss. Very nice. And yeah, same with some of the other items, like the Opal, the fake Renew Epheris, allegedly. Most likely because there were just still not that many unboxed back then. Yeah, these were, yeah, also under 80%. Let's go to the items that kinda performed equal, which is still bad if you look at the market, because basically, since I bought these items, the whole CS market is up by like 40%. So basically everything under 140% is bad. Let's see. AK Elite Build, I really thought this would go a little bit better, but it didn't. Also 7 euro loss. I bought 60 of those. Yeah, also some other lower play skins, AK Redward, USP Flashback. Even, that's interesting, the Stat Track Orb Epheris. these are the first items that really made profit. Only a 9% profit, but this is surprising because the other conditions of these skins were way better. Let's look at the funny and happy things. Basically, all the orb appearances, except the static effect, the new one, made a profit. Interestingly, a minimum wear condition was always the best, looking at my graph, and performed 147%. The other orb appearances also performed really good at around 140%, which is around the market. And really helped us not ending this investment on a loss. A really surprising and weird investment was the Orc side meat. I bought the Orc side meat after CS2 was kinda announced, which was really risky, but there was the rumor. I knew this will most likely be a little loss, but the potential, if the thing I had comprehended would have happened, was pretty big. Because when CS2 was released, many people thought that old play skins might be just improved. Because new engine, new possibilities, there might be some cool thing going on. So I looked at items that, in my opinion, looked pretty bad for the time, or that might look way better when you have a new engine going by that. The two skins I chose there was the Orc Phobos and the Orc side meat, which look kind of futuristic and cool, and I thought like they would be really cool when CS2 was released. They performed pretty well, and I wasn't expecting them to, without these updates, have a 42% profit, but of course they were not patched, they were not improved, so yeah, we just have been lucky there and got still a little bit profit. My best item was the Orb Exoskeleton, which I was really surprised by because I thought that people would more like the Orb Apheris. But the Orb Exoskeleton really increased in price, or at least 200%. And yeah, this is also where over 300 euros of our profit comes from. Now, like I said, since I bought these items at the start of 2023, let's look here. Was, by the way, a really shit time to buy skins because I basically bought skins, I would say around here at 35,000. Yeah, since I bought these items, the CS2 market is up by around 30%. And all of these items nowadays are worth 3,968, which means I made a total profit with all of these items of 520 euros, which is a return of investment of 115%. So yeah, after over 2 years, I made a profit of 15%, while the whole market is up 30%. If I give you investing advice, do it. If I tell you that I also invest in it, don't do it. Yeah, I hope that sums up the video pretty good. Don't forget to join the giveaway, boys. I am Neon, and see you guys in the next one.